All right, folks. My name is Dave Wrocklage. I am a regional sales manager. I work up in New Hampshire and Maine and Eastern Massachusetts. I work with the builders and the retail customers to facilitate the design of the house, all specking of the house, and ultimately the build and the delivery of the house. And what I'm going to show you today is a really cool program that we use in the sales department. We do not use it in the engineering department. The engineers use AutoCAD, which is the industry standard for doing construction drawings and CAD work. With AutoCAD, you can design a refrigerator or an airplane engine. You're drawing with lines. You draw one line, another line, you trim, you fillet. Chief architect is a totally different approach to drawing. This approach to drawing was done by a computer guy and a layperson and a builder, and they approach it totally differently. What they did was they wanted to be able to draw very quickly, and more importantly, they wanted to see what it was that they were creating. They wanted to be able to model in 3D what the house looked like. And Chief Architect was really the first program out on the market to be able to do that. And so what you're looking at on the screen there, it could be an AutoCAD drawing, it's all 2D lines and so forth, but in reality, these are all 3D objects, and I get to control these 3D objects. And if I go to the definition of this wall, for instance, I can build the wall exactly as we build it in the factory. So on the outside is that cedar look siding that John just showed you a picture of. It's called the Northwoods. I've got 4x8 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood on the horizontal, just like you saw on the production floor. I've got the exterior walls with 2x6 studs, 16 inches on center. And then I've got the drywall, 1/2-inch drywall on the interior layer. And so with the understanding that we're all looking at computer screens, and computer monitors and screens can interpret color slightly differently, but with that understanding, I'm going to be able to design and model for my customers a house that's going to be almost exactly what we're going to be building for the customer. Now, what you see on the screen right now is a real life example of a house that we built out on Martha's Vineyard a few years ago. The customers were from New Jersey. My builder's out on Martha's Vineyard. I actually live in Kittery, Maine. And this program that we're using is, before I get into this, I just want to say that this program that you're looking at is available to anybody who is working with Westchester to build and design their custom home. So people like myself, sales managers, we have the program. Sometimes we use it. A lot of my builders have it, and I work with my builders in the design. We have a guy at the factory that's a real pro. So one way or another, if you like what you see today, this is going to be available to you when you go to Westchester to design and build your house. So like I said, this is a real life example. Chris and his wife were in New Jersey. I'm in Kittery. Bill, my builder, was out on Martha's Vineyard, and we got together in person to begin the design process. Now, the designs come from all sorts of areas. Inspiration for designs can come off of our website, and you can go through our custom plans and choose one of those and modify it, make it, bigger, smaller, or move the walls around or whatever. Or sometimes people come to us with plans out of magazines or from websites. Some people scratch things out on a napkin. In this case here, when we got together for the first time out of Martha's Vineyard, they had taken pictures of homes that they had seen on Martha's Vineyard and Cape in the Islands and different styles that were right for a beachy type of environment. And so we started out with the concept of what this house would look like, and we talked about how they wanted the layout. They wanted an open concept with a big family room, gathering area. They liked the idea of a big formal entryway, kitchen, dining room, as you see there. And so as we began the design process, I needed them to be able to see what some of these things were going to, how they were going to impact. So upstairs, when we had done the second floor design, they had a master bedroom in the rear with the master bath and then the general bath for these two bedrooms. But if you notice down here, we only have wide open area and no walls. I don't want to put plumbing in the exterior wall. So what I did was create a little plumbing wall off to the side here at the end of the run of cabinets so we could get the pipes from the second floor to the basement without having to go into the exterior wall. So I wanted them to be able to see that. I wanted them to be able to see how we did these different rooms. We wanted the open concept, so we decided to do half walls here so we could delineate the foyer, the family room, the kitchen, and have that feeling of openness, yet still have each of the different rooms. So when we got together the second time, we did it like we are today on a computer screen doing a GoToMeeting, and they were in New Jersey, and my builder was out on Martha's Vineyard, and I'm up here in Kittery, and we began to look at some of these elements. So I dropped the camera in here to show them what that plumbing wall was going to look like right there. That wasn't a problem for them. We got the pipes from the second floor to the basement. And here we have this half wall that we built to kind of give that separation of rooms. Now this centerpiece here is actually a structural column. That's where it's holding up the roof of this house at our, what we call our marriage wall. So this has to be here. The rest of this doesn't have to be here. What we decided to do, we'd do these decorative columns, and then this structural column they wrapped to mimic the decorative columns. When we were in the kitchen area, Chris wanted to make sure that when someone was in the kitchen and the rest of the family was watching TV, that they could interface, see the TV. Originally, we had put this TV on top of the fireplace. Chris thought that maybe you'd be straining your neck if it was up that high, so we decided to move it off to the side and lower it down, and that way people wouldn't be straining their necks, and you still could see it from the kitchen. This bank of cabinets over here, when we began to design in the kitchen, Chris wanted to do something that was a little different than just a big square bank of cabinets. We used the Merillat cabinet catalog to do these angled cabinets. We needed to find a place for the microwave, so we had this microwave cabinet right here. And the cool thing about Chief Architect is, like that CertainTeed siding, I have so many of these libraries available to me, and I can choose all of the different Merillat door styles, all of the different wood species, oak, hickory, maple, cherry. I can do all the different paints and stains. So again, with the reminder that this is a computer screen, and they're going to interpret colors a little bit differently. I'm going to be able to model for that customer exactly what their kitchen is going to look like. Now here you've got the shaker style cabinet in painted white. And as we're working on this plan, another one of my favorite views to show the customers what we call the dollhouse view. And this is where we sort of lift the roof off the top of the house so we can look down and see that floor plan in 3D. Really brings it alive, and you can see how all of the different appliances and furniture layout. You can see the little laundry down here off the mudroom with the stackable washer dryer, and we have the slop sink over there, the half bath. Upstairs, we have the 3 bedrooms, master bedroom, and the bathrooms, and so on. Now, when we began to do the exterior design on the house, again, they had given me pictures of different styles of house. They like this gambrel style. You don't see that so much in the subdivisions nowadays. Now, when it comes to gambrel style, it's more of a shingle style or arts and crafts style, but it's very appropriate out on Martha's Vineyard on Cape Cod. You see it a lot in certain older neighborhoods. And they love the idea of these reverse gable gambrels out in the front. And then we had this space in between that they wanted to put some dormers in. We tried one big dormer, we did 3 little dormers. We settled on these 2 medium-sized dormers. That worked the best. Our engineering department doesn't do some of these adjunct things like outdoor showers, but when I'm working with customers, I want to be able to show them different locations, how it's going to impact the house and design and so forth. So we put in the outdoor shower over here. We located the Bilco. Off the back, we had a patio and a deck. And we don't do screen porches in the factory, but Chris said that he wanted to do a 12 by 10 screen porch off the back of the house with a peaked roof. And I said, well, you know, Chris, that's your master bedroom up there. Wouldn't it be cool to do a flat roof up there, and we can do a patio door, and you can come out in the morning with your wife and have coffee, and oh yeah, what a great idea, what a great idea. So we ended up doing the flat roof on that instead. And that's what we designed for for Chris and his wife. And let me show you ultimately what was built. So there's the 3D design, and that's ultimately what we built for them. And you can see we really nailed what this house was going to look like. We really brought it to life for them. And if you don't mind me bragging a little bit, we won best of the Martha's Vineyard from their design contest that they had that year. There's the back of the house. You got the outdoor shower just as we modeled it, and we have the screen porch and so forth. And I'll finish up by just taking you through a couple more houses that we've done. This is that kitchen I showed you. There you've got the microwave cabinet, you got the angle cabinets, and just as we modeled it there. Now on site they added some crown molding, which we hadn't talked about, but later on after the house was delivered, they decided to add some crown molding on top. But I could have done that with Chief Architect to model that had we planned for that in advance. Here's one of our Craftsman Series homes. This is in a subdivision up in Old Orchard Beach. We have 31 lots in that subdivision that we're building currently, and this is one of the ones that we built up there. Another one of the Craftsman style houses. This is a modular mansion we did up in Wayland, Mass. I'd like to show it to show you that we're not the old preconceived notion of a boxy house. We can do custom buildings as you can on site. It sold for $2.3 million. So just to show you what's capable. This is a duplex we did in Boston. We had to match the architecture in that neighborhood. You've got those flat roofs with the wide frieze boards and the parapets. And the very last house I want to show you is just this house that we did out on New Seabury in Cape Cod. And I just want to spend a minute about talking how we work with the builder and the customer to capitalize on what we do efficiently in the factory and what the builder can do efficiently on site. This house was designed by an architect, so we got the architectural plans, and we had to take those plans and bring them into our building system and make them work. Now, that's what it looked like when it was done. If you look at the back of this house, it has a screen porch, and this screen porch is unconditioned space. It's a turret, and we could have built that in the factory, but there's no electricity, there's no plumbing, there's no windows or insulation, and it was over with. And so when talking to the builder, I suggested that that should be site built, because even though I could build it, I couldn't offer the best value for that. The turret in the front here, however, is has insulation, it's got windows, it's got electrical, it's not over with. I could get it all onto one trailer and deliver it, and that I could offer a value on. And this bonus room, again, you've got a half a wall. I could have sent this down the production line, but there was not enough there to make it worthwhile. But I do have a way of efficiently doing that, and I want to run you through it. So we got 3 modules on the downstairs, left to right instead of front to back like you would normally see a colonial built. And we had 3 on the upstairs matching. So when we're ready to deliver this house, we worked with the customers in the summertime. We got all of the design done. By the end of the summer, they moved out. It was their summer home. And we sent the package down to the factory for engineering and stamp plans for the builder. The builder had the stamp plans by October. He began to do the tear down of the existing building and get the old foundation out, put the new one in. We show up on December 7th. We planned it. He's got the foundation ready for us. We show up on December 7th, and it's a 3-day set. The first day they set the 3 lower modules. The second day they set the 3 upper modules and the turret. And the last day, what they do is the builder has pre-built this lower level garage. We panelize these walls. They're very inexpensive and really cost effective. So the crane set the 3 panels there. The roof we built in 2 sections. They were all shingled the crane picks them up, set them onto the panelized walls, and at the end of the third day, the crane goes out, and the crew does the final shingling, and the builder takes over. That was December 10th or 11th, and by April 30th, he has the certificate of occupancy. So if that had been a site build project, that would have taken at least a whole nother season, and they would not have been able to use that house that summer.